So, Mr. Al-Mutairi, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
You are in an industry that is strategic, the oil and energy industry. Mm-hmm. How do you see, the key challenges today for you?
Well, I think it was very clear for everybody that the price, the market instability was the great challenge for the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. Everybody noticed the sharp drop
yes.
on the crude price from 2014 until now, and until now it's not very stabilized. Although it's in around the 50s, but mm-hmm. this is really a big challenge for industry.
Yes.
And it's reflected onto reviewing many countries, and many companies reviewed their strategy, their moving forward, and really impacted a lot of companies. Yes.
So what kind of impact has it had on the Kuwait National Petroleum Company?
Well, in Kuwait National Petroleum Company, we are the downstream arm of KBC. Mm-hmm. We get affected by direct hit of the petroleum products that mm-hmm. we are selling. When crude price goes down, usually the petroleum product, refined product, goes down, but in a slower pace.
Yes.
And this is the time that we make money.
Uh-huh.
This time we've seen very sharp drop.
Yes.
And this put a lot of pressure on the refinery margin, and becoming very tough, very tight, and really affect the company performance and profitability. And that's why we came up with many strategies. One of them I explained today was the COPI, which is a cost optimization mm-hmm. and profit improvement program. This is putting a lot of effort in order to bring the profitability of the company back to a very acceptable level. Yes.
And you are at the bottom of it today? You have cut the maximum cost you could have, or you still have a little bit of room for maneuver?
Well, on the cost reduction, I think we already we said that we don't want to do any more reduction, and the profit opportunities is always there is opportunity for generating new ideas, mm-hmm. innovation.
Yes.
Our employees doing a great job by giving more ideas for to be very innovative. We are getting internal and external help on that, and also we've been doing a lot of operational excellence to improve mm-hmm. the operation and of the company. Yes.
So Kuwait is also one of the countries that is the highest consumer of energy per capita. Mm. So what have you done to make sure that people either reduce their consumption or actually move to something else?
Yeah. Well, in Kuwait, of course, we are very actually our ranking is number 7, which is power consumption per capita. Mm-hmm. It's very high, but the main reason was the severe environmental conditions, especially in summers. You know that mm-hmm. We consume 70% of power consumption, electricity, into air conditioning. Also, the population of Kuwait is growing, mm-hmm. and that's why when the government is reviewing the electricity subsidized policy, there will be very soon a shift into the price. Yeah. The government will start into the industry and the governmental buildings. Mm-hmm. They will not go to public now. This will be later stage. But you can imagine that the power consumption per watt is 2 fills. This will gonna be 5 times. Will be 10 fills mm-hmm. for industry, and will be for the companies and government buildings will be 15 fills. So you can mm-hmm. imagine the 5 and 7 times increase. Mm-hmm. And as you also everybody noticed that the petrol subsidized price has been adjusted. Now we got an increase of gasoline price in Kuwait from 41 to close to 63, depending on the type of fuel.
Wow. Okay.
By that, I think the behavior of consumers have to be adjusted in order to cater with the new pricing mechanism.
So Russia today is one of the, if not the leading producer. What influence does Russia has on the price of oil worldwide? And of course, I think it's very difficult to predict, the fluctuation of prices because there are so many different factors. And of course, one of the big factors is demand. So on the one hand, you see the demand growing. Russia is playing a role in this, or?
Yeah. Well, if you notice on the demand side, although demand is increasing, but still there is a gap between the supply and demand. And one of the reasons that the sharp drop happens in 2014 was mainly due to 4 reasons. First one is the higher production of tight oil, the increased production of Russia.
Yes.
There is no agreement between OPEC and non-OPEC, and the idea at that time is to leave the market for it will balance itself, but this did not happen. And the fourth reason was the growth plan was not as per expectation, especially in China, India. There was a projection of a growth. The growth was there, but not according to the plan, which is. So these 4 reasons really affected making more surplus and affecting the price to go down.
So as you remember, last year the G7 issued a statement that they wanted to, in a way, get rid of all petroleum-based energy by the end of the century. How realistic is that, and is the plan implemented?
Well, Dominic, you heard it in many countries, many politicians, they are saying we'll be less dependent on oil. We are going for other sources, either renewable or biofuel. But the fact remains that the oil is there.
Yes.
It is a cheaper price.
Yes.
It is a source of energy that you can get it very easily with lower price. So no matter what politicians say, I think the dependence on oil will continue, and one of the reasons is the price.
And the world is not going to run out of oil tomorrow.
Yes, definitely. The projection is the oil will be available for many years to go, and again, it's cheap. Of course, we have to think of environment. That's why renewable, and many countries thinking of renewable. One of them is Kuwait. Also, we are going for the oil sector in Kuwait. We are going for solar.
Yes, of course.
KBC now is studying to implement the vision of His Excellency the Emir of Kuwait to go for 15% of your consumption renewable. So we are going in a project for solar energy soon in Kuwait.
Well, thank you very much for this great insight.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.